What is up, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in for another video. Today we're looking at this handgun here, and we are a new channel, so if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you find some other content you like on the channel. This is the FNS-9C from FN. I purchased this specific handgun from sportsmansoutdoorsuperstore.com for $454 before tax. This model came with night sights, as well as this soft case here, the flush fit 12 round mag, the 12 round with a pinky extension, and also a full size FNS-9 mag that fits a full size handgun, but it does have this sleeve on here so it fits into the compact as well. You get this extra back strap. This one is more round. This is the one that came on it. I put the flat one on. I like the way that feels better. So it's pretty good price, I think, for the night sights, as well as those magazines run $44 a piece. So getting 3 of them and the night sights was a really good deal in my opinion. So we'll start off. This pistol has a stainless slide riding on a polymer frame. With the flush fit magazine unloaded, it weighs 23.3 ounces on my scale, and with 12 hollow point 9mm rounds, it weighed 28.5 ounces with the flush fit magazine. With the big 17 round Stendo clip, empty, that weighed an extra 3.4 ounces. So with those numbers, you can kind of play around, do some math if you're curious and want to know how much all this weighs. And we got some pictures here for some quick dimensions. It's about 4.5 inches tall, 6.5 inches long, and about 1.35 inches wide. Here's an image I'll show you I found handy. This is from handgunhero.com. But it's got this gun next to a Glock 19 showing all their dimensions. So this is pretty handy, since I think a lot of people are familiar with the Glock family of handguns and their general size. But you can see this handgun is slightly smaller than the 19 in size, and it weighs about the same as the 19. Keep in mind that's kind of a disadvantage, since the 19 holds 17 rounds and this only holds 12. But for just a size comparison between those weights, and knowing that size-wise it's between a 19 and 26, and it weighs about as much as a 19. So durability-wise, I mentioned this is a double recoil spring configuration. For a disclaimer, I have fired 500 rounds through this handgun. So, take that into consideration with what I'm about to say about durability, if that, you don't view that as enough. But that's what I have through here, and so far no malfunctions with it. Everything is run flawlessly. It is worth mentioning, you can find stories on the internet, and I encourage you to look and read them, about these handguns where departments had them and then released them for going off. FN claims from their site that they fixed the issue, and you can actually type in your serial number and it will tell you if your pistol is subject to the issue potentially. So definitely look into that stuff if you're considering one of these. I did, and I decided to trust FN, that if they said that it was squared away, it was squared away. I've been carrying this daily for 3 months and no issues with that kind of stuff yet. Okay, so let's talk quickly about accuracy. A disclaimer here, I am by no means a good pistol shot. This is my first concealed carry handgun, so these accuracy results may not be too significant. There are other YouTube channels, specifically some more bigger name channels, that have raved about the accuracy of this handgun. I believe Mr. Guns and Gear has one on his channel where he talks about the accuracy being outstanding. I'll go ahead and roll in one group here. This target here was shot at 20 yards by me, and the second one was shot at 7 yards. So, there's a little data you can look at, but probably not too significant. You might want to look elsewhere for more information on accuracy. So we can go ahead and talk about the trigger now. It does have the safety trigger that must be depressed on the lower half. You can go ahead and pull the trigger. The weapon is clear. So again, this is my first concealed carry handgun, and I haven't shot too many handguns, to be honest, but of all the other striker fire ones I've fired, this trigger feels a lot better than a lot of them. It's listed as a 5.5 to 7 pound trigger pull on their website. A lot of people that measure it with trigger scales seem to be getting somewhere in that range, but we'll go ahead and pull this trigger here. Go ahead and show you the reset. Very audible and tactile reset. one more time. So I have no complaints about the trigger, at least with a few other pistols that I fired. This one is far superior. And that being said, also, since this pistol is a little bit heavier, the recoil impulse is really smooth. I find it not quite as sharp and punishing as something smaller and lighter, like a Glock 26. Not that that gun has a ton of recoil, but this one does feel a lot smoother when firing it. So talking about ergonomics now, the slide, as you can see, does have front and rear serrations. This is a good thing because this slide is really, really stiff. So if you're somebody with weaker hands or maybe an elderly person, this is not a handgun for you. The slide is really stiff to actuate. And that in turn makes the slide release incredibly difficult to depress. So this is an ambidextrous slide release that we have here. And when I got this handgun, I was not able to really drop the slide with my thumb. I could, but I mean, I would have to put two thumbs on here and squeeze through the 500 rounds I have. It's gotten to where it's broken in enough to where I can do it now, but I mean, it's still a substantial effort and it's really hard to depress. I've been, when shooting this, reloading, just going for a slingshot. There's a lot of stuff on forums you can find online where people say, you know, sit on the couch while you're watching TV and just rack it over and over, shoot it a bunch, leave the slide lock back. I'm sure you could do all those things to weaken the spring that this thing comes with, but I think that's a big point to mention. The slide is super stiff. It's, at least compared to every other of the few striker fire handguns that I've shot. Yeah, so also on a similar note, the magazine release is not super easy to depress. It's really recessed, and I find that I have to completely lose my grip to use my fingers to leverage the other side and then push it. The magazine does drop free nicely. There's not a ton of spring force, but it does drop free and pop out. There are people online you can find on forums where they take the full-size FNS-9 mag release and put it in here, and it's a little bit bigger. I haven't done that, and there is some posts that I found, at least one where someone did that and then they kept dropping the magazine while carrying because it was too extended. FN claims that this was by design. I don't remember where I read that. I believe it was online somewhere that they were defending this by design so that you don't accidentally drop the magazine. I don't know. I think they could have designed it to where it was easier to get out. With time and training, it's gotten easier, but it's definitely not the most friendly magazine release out there on a compact handgun. So with all of that being covered, I'd like to speak a little bit on value now. I think that's where this handgun really hits it out of the park. For the money, it came with a lot. I mean, for the soft, I don't think the black version comes with the soft case. I think that's only the FDE. I'm not sure. Also, usually the FDE only comes with the 17 round mag and the pinky extension magazine. I was lucky to find one for such a low price that came with both of those, as well as night sights, which is super cool because, like I said, these magazines are $44 a piece. So if you're planning to acquire quite a few of them, that's going to be very expensive for you. I think given the weight, it's probably not the best carry option. It's a little heavy for how many rounds you get, but I think that also plays into how smooth it shoots. And there, you'll see, like I mentioned previously, some other big YouTubers that review this, review it quite well and say that they're adding it to their carry collection. Again, it's probably not the best option, it's super carry, but there's something about the way it shoots. It's really smooth and enjoyable to shoot. But I think that kind of summarizes all of my opinions on this handgun, sort of everything that I wanted to share. There's not too much information out there online, so hopefully you found this video of some use. If you did enjoy the video, learn something, make sure to drop a like, and if you enjoy the channel's content, drop a subscribe. Really would help us out, get this channel going. But other than that, thanks for watching.